So far, we've talked about the mechanisms of synaptic plasticity, but it's also worth noting that there exist non-synaptic mechanisms of plasticity as well. As the name might suggest, non-synaptic plasticity involves changes in neuronal function that are not mediated by changes at one of the many synaptic sites on a single neuron. Instead, non-synaptic plasticity occurs elsewhere in the neuron, in the axon, dendrites, or soma of the neuron, and typically involves modification of ion channel function at these sites. Since these functional changes are not locally restricted to synapses, the overall integration of excitatory and inhibitory postsynaptic potentials, and consequently its intrinsic excitability, are affected. These mechanisms are sometimes called homeostatic mechanisms, since they serve to keep the excitability of the neuron in some desirable operating range. If a cell fires too much, it runs the risk of doing damage to itself and to the network. If it fires too little, then it doesn't participate in the network and simply wastes resources. Of course, modification of intrinsic electrical properties of the neuron can affect many fundamental processes at the cellular level, including synaptic integration and action potential generation. Such changes at the cellular, not only synaptic level, of individual neurons can thus result in changes to higher order brain functions, including, for example, learning and memory. Non-synaptic plasticity is, however, still very much an emerging field of neuroscience, and much of the evidence gathered thus far requires further investigation.